Hi everybody, so this video today is going to be a progress update on my new releases TBR because I have been cumulatively reading a lot of new releases for June, July, and August and September in the past couple, July, August, September, and October, correction. So I wanted to talk about some of these books that I've been reading or some books that I am currently reading in my recovery from COVID-19. Status update on my health. I have been feeling better and I'm hoping to test negative tomorrow. So to begin, the first book I wanted to talk about today is A Very Merry Murder Plot by Jen McKinley. This is her new release that just came out last week. The previous book I have read by her is called Summer Romance, which I read back in July for my books with disabled protagonist TBR, because the main female character in that book has ADHD, and it's also set on the beach in a beach town where the children's librarian falls in love with somebody who works at the local bookstore. So in this murder mystery, it's set in a town called Briar Creek. This is the 15th book in the Briar Creek murder mystery series. So this is another series, much like Veronica Speedwell, that I will be reading out of order. And it's set at Christmas time, naturally. So let me read you what this is about. During the most wonderful time of the year, famous author Helen Monroe arrives in Briar Creek to be the writer-in-residence, but her bah humbug attitude excludes her from the many holiday celebrations the town residents enjoy. To try to spread some Christmas cheer, library director Lindsay Norris invites the writer in town to join her crafternoon club. Helen politely refuses, and when an altercation happens between Helen and another patron, Lindsay begins to suspect the author has been keeping to herself for a reason. Another newcomer, Jackie Lewis, reveals he's been visiting Briar Creek to be near Helen because she believes they are destined to meet. Having dealt with a stalker in the past, Lindsay feels compelled to tell Helen about Jackie, as she suspects that Helen is unaware her number one fan is in town. When Jackie's body is later discovered in the town's park beneath the holiday light display with a copy of Helen's latest manuscript in her hand, the reclusive novelist becomes the prime suspect in the murder of her self-proclaimed mega fan. Helen's frosty demeanor melts with Lindsay offers her help, and now the librarian and her crafternoon pals must prove another innocent before the end becomes Helen's final sentence. So this book was good. The plot twist keeps me on the end of my seat, and if you are looking for a Christmas-themed book to read for this spooky season, pick up this murder mystery by Jen McKinley. The next book I wanted to talk about is Wrath of the Triple Goddess, which is the latest release in the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. The Percy Jackson series is a fantasy series I started reading this year that is based in a world of Greek myth, and this is the recent release in the series. I just started this book this morning, actually, and I am on chapter 7 at the moment. It's very good so far. The next book, oh, by the way, this was released on September 24th, as was this book by Naomi Novik. Naomi Novik is my favorite fantasy author right now. She also runs the fan fiction website that I post on, Archive of Our Own. So this book is a compilation of short stories that are set in the worlds of her other books, A Deadly Education, Spinning Silver, and Uprooted. And also, my favorite story, which I skipped ahead to read, is Pride and Prejudice, but set in the world of dragon fighters. So think of Pride and Prejudice mixed with Fourth Wing. So far, aside from skipping ahead to read the Elizabeth Bennet dragon fighter story, I am on page 175, and the story I am currently on is called Commonplaces. The next book was gifted to me by my mother-in-law while I was recovering from my back surgery last month. It is called Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strout. This was a new release, I believe at the end of August or beginning of September. I don't have the date in front of me. So this is a thriller that is set in Maine, the town where I'm from. And I really enjoyed this. The plot kept me guessing. I'm not going to give away too much of what this is about in case you want to read it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. The next book I wanted to talk about is The Third Gilmore Girl, which is Kelly Bishop's memoir. This came out on September 17th. For those of you who do not know, Kelly Bishop played Emily Gilmore on Gilmore Girls, Lorelai's mother, Rory's grandmother. So basically, it's a memoir of her life. Before she was on Gilmore Girls, she was on Broadway in A Chorus Line, which I would have loved to see her in, because that's one of my favorite musicals. She also talks about like behind the scenes snippets of working on Gilmore Girls, and talks about other experiences she's had, and I really enjoyed learning about her. I just started watching Gilmore Girls in fall 2023 with my neighbor Kathleen, who lives next door, and my favorite characters are Suki, who is played by Melissa McCarthy, Lane Kim, who is played by Keiko Agana, and Luke, who is played by Scott Peterson. And for those of you who might not remember us, Scott Peterson, who plays Luke on Gilmore Girls, was also on Seinfeld in the episode where Elaine asks her boyfriend if he's sponge-worthy, so that's a fun piece of trivia for you all. The next book is called You're the Problem, It's You. This came out on August 27th, and it is the second book in the trilogy, the second book in the duology with Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. So, Don't Want You Like a Best Friend is a sapphic romantic comedy that is based off of The Parent Trap, and this book is a sapphic romantic comedy that is based off 10 Things I Hate About You, and it focuses around Bobby and James, and Bobby was the most whiny character to read from. I did not like him. James was much more likable, and they have kids at the end of the book, and they're really cute. The next book is called Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. So this is my second Chuck Tingle book. The first one that I read was Camp Damascus in August, and that is set at a summer camp. And I had to DNF it because of the fact that there were too many religious overtones, because it's set at a gay conversion camp where people send their kids to like change their sexuality from being gay to being straight. I don't know much about that. I know there's a South Park episode about it where Butter's dad sends him to a gay conversion camp because he thinks he's gay. So like Silver Nitrate, this horror book is set in the world of movies, and It's about a guy named Misha who works on a TV show called it doesn't actually say what the TV show is called, but basically, so in the planning meeting for the season finale of the TV show that he works on, our main protagonist, Misha, is disappointed to find out that they kill off the gay character. Kind of like, so he dies the same way that Joey's character dies in the episode of Friends where they kill off Dr. Ramore because Joey gives the bad interview to Soap Opera Digest. So I enjoyed this much better because of the plot twist in it and the fact that it's set on a set of a TV show. That's why I liked it much better than Camp Damascus. I liked Camp Damascus only for the summer camp setting, and the other thing I liked was the representation for autism because the lead character in that book is autistic. The final book I wanted to talk about today is a book I just picked up at the library yesterday. It's called Middle of the Night. It is the fourth book. So first I read House Across the Lake, 5 stars. Second I read what was it? Lock Every Door was 3 stars, and then there was another one that I read that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. But this one, Middle of the Night, is his newest release. It came out July 16th, maybe? I don't know the exact date it was released, but it was released in July. And it is oh, wait a minute. The Only One Left. That was the other one I read. That was 4 stars. So this book, I think, I'm going to predict that this book is going to probably also be 4 stars like The Only One Left, because I'm really liking the buildup of the plot and how it's twisting. So let me read you what this is about. The worst thing to ever happen to Hemlock Circle occurred in Ethan Marsh's backyard. One July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend and neighbor Billy fell asleep in a tent set up on a manicure lawn in a quiet, quaint New Jersey cul-de-sac. In the morning, Ethan woke up alone. During the night, someone had sliced the tent open with a knife and taken Billy. He was never seen again. 30 years later, Ethan has reluctantly returned to his childhood home. Plagued by bad dreams and insomnia, he begins to notice strange things happening in the middle of the night. Someone seems to be roaming the cul-de-sac at odd hours, and signs of Billy's presence keep appearing in Ethan's backyard. Is someone playing a cruel prank, or has Billy, long thought to be dead, somehow returned to Hemlock Circle? The mysterious occurrences prompt Ethan to investigate what really happened that night, a quest that reunites him with former friends and neighbors and leads him into the woods that surround Hemlock Circle. Woods where Billy claimed ghosts roamed and where a mysterious institute does clandestine research on a crumbling estate. The closer Ethan gets to the truth, the more that he realizes that no place, be it quiet forests or suburban streets, is completely safe. And the past has a way of haunting the present. I am currently on chapter 14. So thank you for tuning in. I am also going to be redoing my thriller, horror, dark academia TBR tier list to include the current books that I have been reviewing, and also books that I read in the past week or so that I have forgotten off the original list. So stay tuned for that video. That will be re-uploaded and posted around October 31st. Have a good night.